day to everyone. So we are now in the second week of March and our topic for today is all about arts and artisans. We will also discuss the production process, medium, technique, and curation. Our learning objectives for today, so at the end of the lesson, the students should be able to differentiate the artists and artisans, identify production process, medium, technique, and curation, and lastly, cite Filipino artists and artisans. Let's differentiate the difference between artist and artisan. So, an artisan is essentially a manual worker who makes items with his or her hands and who, through skill, experience, and talent, can create things of great beauty as well as being functional. Or an artisan is a craftsman. The artisan may make very creative and beautiful work. Someone who does skilled work with their hands are working in a skilled trade, especially one that involves making things by hand. So you can see in this picture, these are the examples of artisan: the carpenter, weaver embroider, and blacksmith. An artist, on the other hand, is dedicated only to the creative side, making visually pleasing work only for the enjoyment and appreciation of the viewer, but with no functional value. Or it creates something whose only value is aesthetic. The artist typically makes works of fine art that are shown, entered into the fine art competitions, and sold as unique, original, signed pieces that may have no practical use other than to be displayed and enjoyed. So as you can see in the picture, these are the examples of artists: the dancer, painter, and sculptor. Production process. Production process has three parts: pre-production, production, and post-production. Pre-production is the process of fixing some of the elements involved in a film, play, and other performance. Post-production, on the other hand, is a part of the filmmaking, video production, and photography. It occurs in the process predominantly after the filming, but can be done in the process of while filming. It normally occurs on site for photo shoots, as they color correct to make certain aspects of the object or person to pop out and to make sure that only person or object is where your eyes land first.
Post-production consists of color correction. It is a step has a huge effect on the visual side of any production. It can make your short films or image go from not too shabby to cinema quality. That's how much of an impact it has on the film production and image manipulation. Sound balancing is a process of creating soundtrack for a video. In silence films, it's essential as it tells the story of what's happening. It puts some emotion to the films. For films, in general, it means balancing sounds to make everything fits with the scene. Effects. Audio. Sound editing is the key aspect of the films. It adds some additional feel to the films. Visual editing. As stated above, short films don't have much visual effects besides our coloring, grading, but it depends on the type of films. Diegetic sound. It is a primary generated by the object and mainly anything we see in the image or frame. The sounds come from within the world of the narrative. Non-diegetic sounds generated outside the frame. Medium and techniques. Medium is the mode of expressions in which the concept, idea, or image is conveyed. These are the materials which are used by an artist to interpret his feelings or thoughts. Techniques is the manner in which artist controls his medium to achieve the desired effects. It has something to do with may he manipulate his medium to express his idea. A process or method of using a medium in a manner that he or she wishes to finish an artwork. The choices a designer or artist can make are determined by the characteristic of material used and techniques applied to those materials. The combination of materials and techniques used are also refers to as the medium used. Art medium refers to the art materials or artist supplies used to create a work of art. Basically, it's whatever you use to make a mark upon a surface. An art medium is any material used in projects like sculpting, painting, and sketching. Art medium options are limited only by the artist's imagination. The following are the mediums of visual arts in 2D. Watercolor. It is a simple color medium which has less luminous effects when applied but easy to use. Fresco. Fresco painting is used exclusively on plaster walls and ceilings. The medium of fresco has been used for thousands of years, but it was associated with its use in Christian's image during the Renaissance period in Europe. Pastel and chalk. These are the dry pigments held together by a gum blender and compressed into stick. These are the example of painting made of pastels and the painting made of watercolor. The textures is so beautiful. Painting is the application of pigments in a support surface and establish an image, design, or decorations. In art, the term painting describes both of the act and result. Most painting is created with pigments in liquid form and applied with a brush. The following are the mediums of visual arts in 3D, like stone, granite, marble, jade, ivory, metal, bronze, brass, copper, gold, silver, lead, plaster, clay, wood, and glass. Medium used in 3D. What you can see in my back is the examples of lead, plaster, marbles, jade, wood, brass, clay, glass, gold, silver, stone, and granite. These examples are commonly used for sculpting.
Now we'll discuss to you the techniques used to creating the works of art. Let's start with blowing etching. These techniques of creating art on the surface of glass by applying acidic, caustic, or abrasive substances. Next, printing transfer design is a method of decorating pottery or other materials. Use an engraved copper or steel plate from which a monochrome print on a paper is taken, which is then transferred by pressing into the ceramic piece. Next, tinkering is a parent-child workshop which aims to develop next generation with lifelong skills. Next, splattering is a painting technique in which paint is flung with a flick of a brush onto the painting surface. Next, throwing is the whole process of shaping the clay on the potter's wheel. Next, coloring, the process of skill of applying a substance to something so as to change its original color. Next, flowing. Start with a layer of base paint spread over your canvas, as this will help the paint flow more easily across the surface. And lastly, cutting is the art form of cutting paper with sharp scissors or a knife. Now, let's proceed to the next topic, which is the curation. An art curator is in charge of managing collection of works of art for a museum, foundation, or an art gallery. An art curator's main duties consist of acquiring, collecting, and cataloging works of art, as well as ensuring the overall care. He or she is also involved in research, as he or she writes articles, may prepare and give lecture. Equally, an art curator organizes displays and exhibitions. This involves installing the artworks and objects, negotiating the loans of items from other institutions, writing the documents such as labels, interpretative materials, as well as information panels. Let's proceed to the next topic, which is the Filipino artist. Let's start with Fernando Amorsolo, labeled the country's first national artist in 1972 by President Marcos. Fernando Amorsolo is often known as the Grand Old Man of Philippine art. The Spanish-trained realist developed a backlighting technique where his colorful depictions of local people reflect the regions of the Philippine sun. Next, Julie Lush is the most recognized for her clay sculptures, especially those depicting the female figures. She devoted the majority of her practicing to advocating for societal issues. Lush is philosophy graduate of the University of Santo Tomas. Has left an extraordinary body of work in the art world over the course of his 3-decade career. She continues to astound us with vignettes of sensuality, sexual politics, emotional sensitivity, and even humor derived from the natural forms that have been her trademark.
Another known Filipino artist is Maria Luisa Ramsey Cagahastian Gotidok, which is known professionally as Jaya. She is one of the most renowned Filipino soul singer, rapper, record producer, actress, dancer, and presenter of mixed Jamaican and Visayan descent. Obviously, she made a name for herself in the world of singing and dancing. In recent years, she has appeared as a talent judge on GMA's Sunday All-Stars and ABS-CBN's It's Showtime. By the turn of the century, Jaya was hailed as the Asia's Queen of Soul. She released 10 albums, 3 of which went platinum, entitled Jaya, In the Rain, and 5 Greatest Hits. 2 albums went gold, such as the Christmas album entitled Kung Kailan Pasko and Honesty. And 3 of her most beloved hit songs include In My Dreams, OPM favorite Sana Maulit Muli, and If You Leave Me Now, which made her the first Filipino singer to make the Billboard Dance Chart. We know that every artist or singers have their own genre, and Jaya's tracks are predominantly in the pop genre. Filipinos are inherently creative. Aside from known artists, Filipinos also excel in the field of crafting. Some of the known artisans are Lang Dulay, Raho Laurel, and Riulim. Weaving was more than simply a female obligation. It was a source of pride. It instilled a feeling of responsibility in participants because they saw themselves as stewards of the heritage, contributing to the society by making fabrics and outfits that reflected their culture. Using abaca fibers as fine as hair, Landulay speaks more eloquently than words can. Images from the distant past of her people, the Tibolis, are recreated by her nimble hands. The crocodiles, butterflies, and flowers, along with mountains and streams of Lake Cebu, South Cotabato, where she and her ancestors were born, filled the public with their longing to be remembered. She is known for continuing her people's weaving tradition of tinalak, a colorful textile made from refined abaca fiber. Landulay was awarded the National Living Treasure. It was awarded by the National Commission for Cultural and Arts, or the NCCA, in 1998 for her dedication to the preservation of their culture, as well as her superb artistry with delicate abaca fibers. Landulay knows 100 designs. It includes the buling langit or clouds in English, the bangkering or hair bangs in English, and kabangi or butterfly in English. The designs known by Landulay has their own story to tell. Using red and black dyes, she spins her stories with grace. Her textiles express the knowledge and visions of her people. Through her weaving, Landulay does what she can to keep her people's traditions alive. Without weaving, all that is left are strands of yarn that serve no functional purposes. In a world of clothing, fashion designers are the creators who bring on trends, at times originating and influencing them. They were able to bring our country's name to a global audience. Following the current trends, the fashion stance incorporates your uniqueness and provides exquisite aesthetics. Rahul Laurel is a fashion designer located in Manila. He pursued his ambition to work as a couturier. In 1993, Laurel launched his apparel company with just one seamstress, although he was under great pressure to pursue politics as the firstborn son of a major political family. He has been in the profession for about 25 years and is one of the top fashion designers in the Philippines. Rahul's company specializes on ready-to-wear apparel with his designs that are appealing, practical, and reasonably priced. His work has the unique appearance of an artisan who is well-versed in his craft. Miss Universe 2015 Pia Wurzbach, Miss Universe 2016 Iris Mituna, and Miss Universe Demele Nell Peters all walked the runway wearing gowns designed by famous designers Rahul Laurel, together with Francis Libiran and Albert Andrada. Blacksmiths were crucial members of each society because they offered people with a range of metal equipment. Their aim is to pound metal into various forms in order to fix and build products. One of the full-time Filipino blacksmiths, Ryu Lim, forges everything by hand. He triumphed over 3 other bladesmiths in the Viking Battle Axe episode of the first season of History Channel's Forged in Fire, which featured world-class bladesmiths competing to create history's most iconic edged weapons. His approach of hand forging his blades earned him a position on the fan favorites edition of the show. If it weren't for blacksmithing, we wouldn't be able to utilize swords, axes, jewelry, or any other metal tools. That is all for the artists and artisans. We hope you learned something new. Thank you for listening.